Come on, people. I know you guys know. I know everyone knows what the Socratic dialogue is. So who's going first? And if no one is going, I'm just going to call out names if that would be better. If not, I would encourage everyone to just go ahead with your understanding of what a Socratic dialogue is.
Is it asking why of the things that we see and experience?
Close. Would anyone want to help out share here?
Trying to explore the ideas with open-minded questioning.
Just asking the question why when we discuss about anything.
For me, it's like understanding the reason behind everything and at every level, and break things down so simpler till it cannot be broken down very easily and like that. Look, understanding stuff by breaking down them in segments and understanding the reason behind them.
Thank you so much. Can anyone give a quick example and then we'll move on? No.
With the purpose at the deeper level so that we will be genuinely interested in it.
Okay. Any examples? Anyone?
Mm. All we have so many SDs as an example.
It doesn't have to be Socratic dialogues. It can just be any conversation you had, anything you talked about with a friend, with anyone. It doesn't have to be a Socratic dialogue context. I want a real life context. So, should I assume that you guys are not using Socratic questions beyond DT?
Be- Maybe there are instances, but I cannot remember it has such a way. Like I don't focus it and say na ki ask me this, tell me that.
But do you keep going until you get the root reason? Or let's say have a conversation based on trying to find out a concept together.
Sometimes.
Anyone else? Any example, anything you can think of?
I would say like 2SD with myself, like whenever we're stuck into some bottlenecks, like in coding, like why is this happening and finding the root cause of why this is happening and solve it.
Okay. Can we get a few examples of what are the type of questions you ask?
Like maybe that depends on the error, right? So if I got an error, I would ask myself like where, which part of code snippet is giving me this error, and then I would go into like why, what is the reason, and yeah, is it because of data or is it because of some type error or something like that.
Okay. Thank you, Vamshi. I'll not further delay this. This week's Socratic Dialogue topic is UX. Now, currently you're in Zoom, you're seamlessly using Zoom. You're able to go from here to there. You're able to explore breakout rooms only because Zoom has a seamless UX. You'll close Zoom, you'll take a look at your windows, your background, and you'll be seamlessly able to go anywhere you want because Windows did an amazing job with their UX. Right? So, how do you um, give your audience the seamless pre-cognitive experience that you want, that so that your audience comes and they just know what to do? Even when you first opened an Instagram account, you knew what to do because it was very easy. So we'll have a discussion about this today. Before that, I would request the team to quickly go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hello everyone. I am Shelly and uh, I'm ca- uh, I am also a part of DT Tech team and today I'm presenting team LearnEase.
Hello everyone, I'm Farisa and I'm a data champion in DT.
Thank you, Farisa. Yeah, if I go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. I am Ifra. I am from Thought Leadership Team, and yeah, today I'm from Team LearnEase.
Over to team Don.
Hello everyone, I'm Navneet. Uh, I'm a part of Culture Tech team here in Deep Thought, and also today I'm part of Team Don Norm.
Hello everyone, I am Alok and I am part of the Unique Biotech Growth team. And today I'm representing Team Don Norman.
Hello everyone, myself Harin Khare. I'm in the tech team and I am representing Team Down Norman today.
Okay, my name is Vinay Kumar. I'm a data operations engineer in Vishkarma. I'm a coach for Team Dorma.
Everyone, myself Rajnikant. I'm a developer in Vishkarma, and today I'm a coach at Team LearnEase.
Thank you, Rajnikant. We also have Paridhi as a co-moderator. She is a little away. And hi, everyone. I'm Artwa. I'll be your moderator today. And I'm a growth hacker at Deep Learn. So now that we're done with the introductions, I would request the team who's going first to go with their pitch, keeping in mind that you'll only get 2 minutes for your pitch. Who's going first?
I can go first. So hello everyone. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Shirley.
Okay. Yeah, so we are representing an app. We are presenting an app called LearnEase, which is an AI-driven platform. It is an AI-driven LMS, and we will be offering this as a SaaS package to institutions so that they can make the learnings of their students more efficient. Now we'll discuss how we are incorporating the UX principles in our application. Beginning with the affordance and usability in the design, what does this mean? It basically means that is the UI of the application self-intuitive or not? Is the user able to understand how to use a particular element or not? So we are basically trying to create an UI which is simple, but at the same time it's accessible to others. It's uh, it's interactive and it's readable. Yes, Parisa.
Moving forward, we will be the assumptions we would be making for the user experience. We will be testing it through the user feedbacks. We would be prompting questions, taking surveys from the app. Within the app, will be performing alpha beta testing. Will be releasing the versions, comparing them, which are the uh, good kind of things, and we'll be adopting those things. We'll do behavioral analysis based on the data we'll be collecting, and data driven data which we'll be collecting, and we will be doing analysis on that to improve the performance. We'll be doing UX audits regularly for the enhancing the user experience. We will be identifying the pinpoints of the students who are struggling, what kind of components they are struggling to use. The task analysis, the students will be performing the tasks. Then we'll be identifying what kind of things they are user components they are using the most, and also sequence mappings, which steps are they trying to adopt while performing the tasks, and also gathering user insights.
Yes, Rob. Please go on.
Hi, Ifra here.
Is Ifra there?
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Next thing is user-centric development approach. Here we are trying to focus and understand on students' needs and behaviors. And then we are trying to align with them. And we are also trying to get a continuous feedback. And also, then again, the moment we get the continuous feedback, we are trying to iterate the whole process. And then again, personalization, where we customize the learning experience for the individuals. Then we are focusing on research and prototyping. Here we are trying to conduct the surveys, interviews, and then After that, we try to identify the gaps and fill it. And then again, the prototyping is done. So these were the principles. And then we come to the conclusion. So we can say that LearnEase aims to redefine learning by creating a very simple and seamless and a personalized education experience to all the users. We can consider the students of universities or schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Team LearnEase. Over to Team Don Norman for questions.
Okay. So you guys talked about the controlled experiments, right? For the UX audit. So what will be the controlled experiments for your app? Like, did you plan anything? That would be my question.
Can you ask?
Yeah.
Can you just repeat again?
So you guys talked about controlled experience, right? Experiments, right? Uh, so I want to know what kind of controlled experiments can LMS have that you are trying to, put out.
Uh, so, firstly, we can just let the organization upload the learning content. Okay, and if because since it's an organization, there will be a better control over the content. And later on, if we find that our idea is efficient enough, if it is helping the students, we can allow students as well to upload maybe some other content which they would prefer to learn on their own. So this is how we will be approaching.
Okay. So another question was that you mentioned about pain points, right? So what do you expect the pain points to be when a student uses your LMS?
If the user is not using certain components, if they are avoiding the use of that component, that can be the pain point. That component is not designed certainly that way. Understanding that, we can redesign it.
Can you think of a component like that in LMS?
Yes, one of it can be if again coming to an organization, there might be many courses a student has been assigned to. So a problem can be navigating through the courses. So that can be a pain point which we will have to consider while building its UI. And how would we want to approach this? Building its UI is we would want this. We would not want to display everything in one screen. We would want it to we would want to divide it screen by screen. Maybe first show the courses, then they would select the course and go into that particular course and then access its resources from there.
So are you gonna segment the course like Udemy does? Like it divides the course into segments, right? Are you taking that approach or what kind of approach are you
Now
using?
it totally depends upon the organization because they'll be setting up the course, the content initially until we don't decide to level it up later on.
Okay. So how the last question is that how can an AI model help you to better the UX to make it more personalized?
We can use the visuals, the data, the AI. We can train it to create the visuals for the specific students.
What do you mean by visuals?
Like what kind of contents they are viewing more, what they suppose if they are performing some activities, some questions they are building, means how much time they have spent in doing those things.
So these things are like the activities of students are being portrayed by the AI. Are you trying to say that? How
Uh,
much and stuff?
so the recommendations by the AI will be totally data driven. And whenever like the AI notices some kind of change, maybe the student is not the student is not completing the assessments on time, or maybe they're not interested in particular course, so they can just recommend that, okay, you are lagging behind in this particular course, this is what we recommend you to do later on. So it's like instant feedback rather than waiting for the feedback. They can improve it instantaneously.
Yeah. Yeah. So those were my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, so my question will be that, if you like you are getting feedbacks, you will get you get yourself to work on the feedbacks by AI or by like yourself?
So AI will be, so I said that the platform is AI driven. Initially, we would want to focus on AI. Like AI is providing them feedback and recommendations on how they can improve.
Okay, so but can AI fully understand the user empathy?
Well, talking about it, it will totally run on the data which we will be collecting on how the student is interacting with the application. So AI will be recommending upon that. No.
How can you make the application interactive to get better experience, user experience?
So for the interaction, sorry. For the interaction, we would like to inculcate reminders of completing certain course or certain assessment which they were assigned, and maybe a reminder to take up a quiz which the teacher has put up on the classroom. So these ways we can send up some triggers to the student, and we can also like gamify this application by providing them some certificates on completion of some assessment or a particular course. So this is how we would like to engage them, and we can also create. We would also like to inculcate. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Shelly, you can go ahead with it.
yeah. So I was saying that we can also inculcate the feature of messages. Like students can create groups and matlab, basically talk about the activities going on.
Also, at the end of suppose semester or week, what their performance they gave, comparatively what were their position before and after using the apps.
Or
Yeah,
you are not
yes, please.
working on feedback from students?
Will
How?
the application would be prompting some questions, taking their feedback within the application only
Okay.
based on certain components or tasks they are using.
So, are you getting feedback from an organization or from an individual student? Because if you get from an individual student, won't it be too clouded? Because there can be many students in an organization.
Feedback for what?
So, how do you get feedback? Talking about
So,
feedback.
so see, feedback can be like our platform is providing AI personalized feedback. Organizations can surely provide feedback, but what our approach is that AI tracks how the user is performing, how they're interacting with the application. On that basis, it will provide the feedback. Maybe the user is
No,
not
I
taking any
think
courses.
Shelly, you misunderstood his question. His question was if your students are using your platform, how are they going to give you the feedback if they are able to get things done or not, if they're able to smoothly save the road or not?
So it starts with this two. What are the expectation from the what organization expects from us is that the students really will improve from the recommendations and the feedback. And if they see certain change in the students, then if they don't see, if they see on that basis, they can provide the feedback. So firstly, the organization will see if there are any changes or not in the students, then they'll give the feedback to us.
So, you're getting the feedback from the organization itself or the students?
So as I said, organization will like students will be, I mean, organization will be checking if there are any changes in the students or not, because organization is taking the service, not the students directly. So on that basis, organization will giving the feedback.
So, how do you come to a conclusion that this particular feedback is important and should be dealt with? Like,
For example, there can be some issues like if there maybe they'll say that the model is not tracking the a student's progress properly, and the student has said that no, I have completed everything, and yet I'm getting such feedback. So there might be some problem with our data model. So some like this is just an example. So the basis of that we can improve.
So you rank your feedback based on priorities, like which is on a higher scale of priority or something, or how does it go?
What? Sorry, I did not get it.
So are you categorizing your feedbacks in terms of priorities? Is that like I can get
Okay,
this?
Navneet, we're going into the entire feedback loop, customer success feedback loop. Where we would want to come back to UX.
Okay.
Can you reframe the question in terms of UX, or do you have another question that relates to the entire user experience of the application?
So will you add a feature where students can directly approach you instead of an organization being a bridge between you and the students?
Yes, actually, we can also add this feature where they can report any issue directly to us.
We'll give them prompts whether how their experience was while using the app.
Yeah, so those are my questions.
Okay, in the interest of time, we'll close this round. Before that, we have a few questions from the audience. So you can go one by one. We only have 3 questions. So, Shravan, would you like to go first? Then we'll go Vinay and then Sonika. Shravan, are you here? Okay. I'll just read out his question. What aspects will you focus to design the UX according to the user perspective? In this case, the students, if your users are them. Over to Team LearnEase.
So we would not want to clutter one particular screen with all the features we offer. We would like to break it in different screens so that this can become like a step-by-step procedure. Maybe if I'm a teacher, I want to create a course. The first thing I get is like create a course, then enter its details. So I would like to create it step by step rather than making it cluttered with the whole features in one particular screen.
Sequentializing everything sequence wise.
Yeah. Vinay, you can go with your question. You can take the last question. We'll only take one from you. Slots of the others, but you can go with your last question.
As you mentioned that AI will respond to the feedback, but in some cases AI will not respond to that feedback that accurately, and person don't need AI to respond. How can you tackle those cases if you are not responding, if you don't have any customer support in backend to respond the person?
Means you are telling how the student will contact the customer.
Yeah. If AI will handle it, then you can't say that no, like AI is giving the accurate solution to them. And somehow many persons don't like to talk to AI directly. Like they want some user support at the back end that you can give them.
We'll be providing them uh, suppose there are various components. We will be regularly asking them for feedbacks, prompting them how are they feeling, what problems are they what issues are they facing. They can give their feedbacks through that.
Even I asked that like AI is responding to them. Like how can you tackle this thing?
We can obviously monitorize some things by ourselves, like user feedbacks.
Yeah.
So, Fariza, I think his question is usually what happens when you use an app is there's a chatbot that you usually talk to nowadays. For every app, there's a chatbot you talk to. But post talking to the chatbot, there's always a feedback that do you want to connect with our customer support agent or is your query solved? So do you have any such feature that would lead them, if they're not satisfied with the AI response or the chatbot response, that would lead them to a support agent?
Yes, we'll be adding that if the AI is, if they are not satisfied by the AI.
I hope, Vinay, that answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like
Over to Sumit. Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
I was just saying that it's just a suggestion, moreover a feedback question.
Sure, yeah. Over to Soumitra for his initial question.
Yeah, so you guys mentioned about you'll be having a prototyping step. So I wanted to ask, what level of prototyping are you going to take, like, and how are those students' experience related to it?
Uh, sorry about that. Yeah, so initially, as like our initial model will just consist like an organization creating courses to students assigned to that particular course, and we would want to check if the AI is correctly giving feedback or not, as when I asked correctly, if the feedback given by the AI is correct or not, is it really data driven or not. So this will be our initial prototype, and on the basis of the feedback we'll be getting, we'll try to improve.
That is just model testing. I mean, if you are just trying to figure out are you getting an accurate feedback response or
But isn't working with LLM always a module testing? Well, it takes a lot of time to train it, right? ChatGPT still gives you incorrect answers, but that is for a later thing. And we have a few more questions that we would have loved to be taken otherwise. Please reach out to the team; they'll help you answer the questions. Over to Team Don Norman for their pitch. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So hello guys, I'm Navneet. I'm from Team Don Norman, and today's pitch is about a momentum app where users can collectively develop good habits, and the habits they plan on developing, and also they can encourage each other to develop good habits, and it's like a personal, and we provide them personalized experience by which they can obviously experience empowerment in their habits. So yeah, this is the starting. I'll pass it on to the next person.
Yeah, for UX principles, we are using the simple and focused design where users can focus on their goals and tasks without distractions. And for progress visualization, we are using a progress bar or ring with alongside where summary screen that shows weekly or monthly achievements. And we are additionally using gamification for engagement, and it has some features like a streak system that motivates to engage there. And for affordance and usability in design, we will add some clickable buttons to add goals like add goals or complete goals, which creates some visual cue that encourage users to use. And there is a continuous evolution based on feedback. We will create a feedback loop, work on feedback loop. We will first try to implement, and again we will check it's working or not. And the last one is accessibility features. We will include various options for it to accessible to all.
I will take the charge from here. Testing for testing UX assumptions. We are noting down the pain points and empathy of the user in the user journey mapping, and then we are understanding the actions of the user to understand that that how our product is resulting in users in a long-term engagement, and how our product is helping users to increase productivity through second and third step. For the UX audit, we are gonna conduct like in user research, we are gonna conduct user interviews and surveys, and we are implementing beta testing for our product, and also through it we gonna have the review for our features that features we would want to work on, and features that we gonna have some improvement on.
Yeah, so I'll go with the next one. So user-centric development approach, right? So here what we want to do is we want to focus on what our user needs and design our approach based on the user. Now, for example, empathize with user needs. This basically means that when the user is trying to use our app, we basically study that which particular areas the user is more focused on. If he's focused more on building habits, providing gratitudes, or actually, helping others in a tech form, helping others in a forum, and also we're going to create a personalized user experience by using AI. So what does our AI do? Our AI basically maps out all the stuffs, all this knowledge domain, and creates a personalized feed that will help the user in order to develop new habits and also help others to develop new habits. So research and prototyping. So here what we're going to do for the user research, we plan on conducting surveys on a weekly basis or a monthly basis where we can actually get a feedback from the user. Key, what kind of design they would like. So we would pave the way of our design in that way. And also for the rapid prototyping, uh, we're actually using we're actually using a concept of deep thought, that is first when the product is on the development stage, it will be on the dev domain. After that, when we deploy it to the beta domain, it's for the users that are forgiving, right? So we want to do that same thing, but in a different name called as usability sessions. So what we're doing here, we're gathering users who are forgiving, and also we're making them test the new features, right? So for the conclusion, Momentum app is basically an app where we can it's an app where a group of users can improve their habits, and also they can have a social media experience where it's a positive background where they can actually empower themselves and also notice a behavior change in themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Don Norman. Over to Team LearnEase for questions.
Yes. So you talked about progress visualization. So how are you ensuring that maybe suppose someone was not like many of matlab, how are you ensuring that the UI is not demotivating? Maybe someone was not doing posting anything on the feed. So how are you ensuring that?
So the UI would revolve around encouragement and positive affirmations, right? So what we're trying to do here is, let's say if he's not posting or something, right? We'll try to give him some notifications, right? Though no, now the notifications are going to be encouraging, right? Let's say we'll give him like you're a few steps away from creating a new good habit, something like that, so that it would motivate them to create new posts and also help others build new habits.
Okay.
Yeah.
But suppose I'm talking about you told that you'll be providing progress visualization. How
Yes.
will you make sure that that doesn't look demotivating if someone was not using the app regularly?
Okay. So for that, if let's say he is not using it regularly, we'll just instead of like showing you're not using this app regularly, you're lagging behind and stuff. What we can do is we can come up with a uh, with like an same positive affirmations that we notice that you're not actively engaging in developing good habits. You're some steps away from creating some new habits, right? So it would be more of like the visualization part won't be there if it's not active. It will just be more of like a positive affirmations there, so that we would at least motivate him to create new habits.
But again, progress visualization is showing what they have been doing all
Yeah.
the
So
time. You will if you remove that part and just show the positive affirmation, then what's the use?
we can't show the progress if they don't use the app, right? So if we have to
And
think something in a different way. Like if there is nothing to show, instead of that, if showing something, some demotivating stuff, we can show something that is positive for them.
it still doesn't answer my question. How are you? Like I'm talking about what will be the user experience for the user who has not been using it frequently, the app. If you just remove the progress visualization completely and bringing in positive affirmation, then what's the user progress visualization?
I mean, we
Anyone else
can't.
from the team wants to take that?
We cannot remove it, but we can show some how many days he has completed his task or goals, and turning it out into positive way and telling him that you are not doing something. If you do this, you can achieve this.
Yeah, like presenting it with taglines like this much effort to go, like in
Yes.
quantitative way, like this much effort to go, you can go on a next level, like gamifying that, like categorize it in levels, like you are in this level now, this much up to go for next level, so that way it can be done.
Okay. Uh, so one more thing. Uh, like you said that, huh, if I'm a new user, what, how will you make sure that my user experience is not that difficult for the navigation purpose?
So one idea I can think of is the thing is that text-based also dialog boxes which will have encouraging text in them.
Also, we can place video there for navigating. Uh,
No. So wouldn't you want the UI of your app to be self-explanatory
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
them watching the
So
video?
we can use like okay, I get your question. Like we can use like you have seen many types of app which if you open it for the first time before coming to a landing screen, it shows a carousel of what this app does, what this app is about, and after that when you sign up or log in, it just give you a minor tour, like tour or tutorial for the features and for the navigation of the product. So that way we can like benefit our users for user experience in navigation.
But how will the UI help in that? Not the dialog boxes. I'm talking about the UI. If the whatever the first screen will be for the new user, how you are making sure that the UI is self-explanatory and it is like not confusing the user.
Yeah, we continuously improve the user experience by taking the feedbacks from the user. Uh, so implementing one UI, keep on improving it.
So which what like can you tell me the idea from where you will begin?
I think we can go with RM's idea. We can start with a carousel, which gives a basic tour of what our app is, all the features, and then yeah, we can start with that, and then we can improve. We can get more perspectives on that, of how we can improve on it based on the feedback, and also feedback on based feedback by other UX designers, UI UX designers. So that would be better.
Okay.
Also, what criteria are there any criteria that you will be dividing the users into? Because when uh, suppose AI gives the feed or the suppose school students are using it, their feeds or their gratitudes aren't any useful for the work, the ones working in corporates or those.
They can be useful.
They can be.
Yeah, they can.
Okay.
So is there any follow-up questions to that?
Yeah, can you explain how they can be useful?
So the question was, are the feedbacks from school students going to be useful, or the graduates from the school students are going to be useful to those who work, right? So that was the question. Yeah. So it's like a school students, like our app is more on wider perspective, exploring wider perspectives. the perspective of school students is also one thing. They can provide some valuable insights too that we as adults tend to miss. So that if they and their gratitude uh, can help a lot because we can get more perspectives rather than just adults interacting with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
The main goal was to create the positive environment, right?
Yeah.
So how do you ensure that your UX is make like in spite of them logging everything positively, then how do you ensure that they are it's really being creating the positive environment to your UX?
By introducing gratitudes.
Is that the only thing? Like what your
So the UI
user
is positive. The comments are turned into gratitude, so they are positive. The posts are
so
positive, so
so the
what-
idea of gratitude might be very new for the user.
yeah. So
What
we'll
else
introduce
can
them about gratitude then.
I mean, what else can you inculcate rather than other than gratitude? Gratitude is a great idea, but what else?
So what we can do is let's say a user has written a particular number of gratitudes. He's helped a lot of people writing gratitudes and advising them. So let's say we can track the user's progress, and once he reaches a particular stage, he'll have a new feature where we can where he can chat with other people. So we know that we're not just giving everyone to chat. Even if you include a chat feature, it will be positive environment because the user who's going to chat he has passed all the levels of gratitude and helping others.
Okay. So I have one more question.
Yeah.
So you'll have a social feed on your platform, right?
Yeah.
How is that helping others to develop good habits? I mean, what if I am a new user? I am very lethargic, and seeing others doing good things might demotivate me as well. That okay, I am not able to do it. So how will that help me developing good habits?
So I think while starting the application, we'll have a carousel, right? So instead of just directly taking him to the social feed, we can point him. The first thing we can do is write a gratitude for a particular, for a particular post. I think that would be the first approach I would take.
If that particular post might make me feel like that, then
Like, what? I didn't get what you said.
like you said, the very first thing the user can do is write a gratitude for a post, right?
Yeah.
But if that particular post will make me feel demotivated,
How is it demotivating if it's
like
a-
like if I'm a user who I'm very lethargic and I want to become better, but the very first post is about someone who is doing really good, and I might feel that okay, I have not done anything yet, so that might be demotivating. How are you addressing that user?
So there will be like a whole feed thing, right? So what we can do is we can start with the users who have recently joined and started writing posts so that he can, relate with them. I think that would be my approach.
Okay, in the interest of time, we'll close this round here. Again, over to Vinay for your question and then Shravan. You posted a question, you can go ahead.
How can you know that your UX is making a good impact to a user activities? Like you are tracking all the activities, and if the person is sharing their fake personalities, like how can you get that? Like if somebody is not sharing the real perspective that he
Like, what do you mean by real perspective?
like he's sharing his fake personality, like
Yeah, sure.
reality में जैसा वैसा नहीं
If it's helping someone, then might be it then.
नहीं, like if she is sharing the fake personality, then you can't give him the good habits by your app.
Then I think his fake personality is developing then, because the real personality we can't help it if he's faking then.
Like how can you give that person good habits by your app? by your UX that you have made it.
I mean, you can't control how what if he's using a fake personality or something, right? So if he's writing some fake habits that he developed, sure, if it's good, then it might help someone to develop their habits then. Like let's say I developed I wrote about a habit that I developed by following these steps, but I didn't actually develop it. Is it like so that's a fake thing I posted, but it's still helping someone, right? Even
Yeah.
if it's fake. So yeah.
One
Okay.
question I would like us all to maybe reflect on is UX more about what the app does, what features it would have, or is it more about how are those features presented to the user in the most optimal, intuitive way possible?
Is
So
it the
it is like,
experience or is it the feature?
yeah, it is the experience, like how much satisfaction or how much satisfaction from the output the user want from your product will get after using your product.
Does the satisfaction entirely depend upon the UX? I mean, your product has a big role to play here. You have a great
Uh,
UX, you have a bad product.
yeah. Suppose like we have a good content, we have good content to offer, but if we do not like present in a good, better UX way, then it can lead to like downfall of retentions that a product can have.
So does the entire journey starts from UX to product or product to UX?
Product to UX.
Product to you.
Arian, what you said is UX to product. You would see if your product is working right, then you create an experience based on whatever you have. Okay, I think we'll end the session here. Would like to take 5 reflections before we close. So who's going first? Again, nobody goes first. I randomly pick names. If that's a better option. You can raise your hand. I would also encourage the participants to reflect because I'm sure we've all had a learning to do. I thought UX was a very interesting topic. Yeah, thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Farisa. Thank you, Pariti. Thank you, Navneet. I would still want 2 people from the audience to go ahead. Okay, I'm picking names then. Okay, so let's see who's there. Who doesn't reflect on it? Okay, I'll go for Anay and see who else. And Vignesh. We'll be reflecting after Navneet. Yeah, over to Shelly.
Uh, so I would like to reflect on the part where I had to create questions because many of the times I was framing questions which were mostly related to product, and this activity kind of helped me to distinguish between a, if a question is really about the product or is it about the UX, user experience. So this way, yeah, this is what I would wanted to reflect on.
Over to Farisa.
For me, I would like to start with the starting of the day. We started the conversation with Tarun. The knowledge he gave about the innovation from starting 0 to 1, how to what are the things, how we need to rigor on that, what is rigor building on that, and then we started preparing for the uh, SD. It also helped me, means how can we before you developing an app, you need to have a total idea about what you are doing, and the theme was based on user experience. So refining your application on the user experience was important, I think. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, what do you, Pariti? Also, we would like the reflections to have a little bit of insight into what did you understand, what did you explore, not generalized reflection.
Right. I would say my reflection is very similar to Shelley's. Given how important UX is in any product, I think because it's such an important part, we have a very hard time drawing a line between what is a part of UX and what is beyond it. And so, even though, our Socratic dialogue was about thinking like a CXO, I think we were sort of thinking like the CXO, CTO, business decisions, all of it. So we were going in all directions. So I think figuring out what can be done through good UX, and at what point do you realize that okay, the product cannot be saved through UX alone. It needs to have certain decisions are beyond UX. They have to be made by other decision makers or other stakeholders, and the point of the UX is to present those ideas or to execute those ideas in the most user friendly way possible. I think that is one insight. And along with that, the role of importance of testing assumptions, because a lot of the questions were about thinking from the perspective of different types of users. So in order to do that, you need to clearly list out your assumptions. You need to check whether what you're considering as a possible user group is actually even going to use your product in the first place. Like if we talk about someone who is, who would get demotivated simply by seeing the progress of other people, I think one question to ask is would that person ever, install a self growth or development related app in the first place? Because if the self confidence has taken such a hit, if they're so incredibly self critical, would they even have the motivation to download such an app in the first place? Would they want to even try to get better? So I think taking our assumptions into account and knowing that along with actually testing it out, existing data, existing researches, existing studies are also a source that we have of checking for those assumptions and minimizing the amount of testing and experimentation that we would need to do. So it's important to test and experiment, but it's also important to not do something which has already been done. For something for which data already exists out there, it's also important to seek that data first before going into deciding to test out a new idea.
Thank you, Pariti. What do you know it?
So this is more of a mindset change than a reflection, right? So me being a backend developer, I thought that if my particular product has a good UI, if it looks very good, the users, I'll have more traffic on my, like the app I'm developing. But today's SD, it made me think that the UI is not everything. Even though UI is, if my UI is really good, I'm not providing the experience that my users are looking for. Like it's a waste of time if I don't provide. And also meetings with Shawan and Alex, right? They were always talking about this UX is not good, that UX is not good. I didn't understand what those meant, but today I got an insight on what those meant. And not just improving the UI, but also focusing on UX for the best user experience. Yeah, that would be my reflection.
Yeah, thank you, Navneet. Now, next, our chosen candidates.
Yeah.
Anahe, please go ahead.
What my understanding was before the UX separate dialogue, it was all about the UI and catering to user needs. But what I understood from this UI UX, UX SD, is that it's not only about showing what we have, it's about testing whether it's really working or not. It's about doing some auditing, like identifying some pain points of the users, might which might lead to a setback. So we need to think of a user-centric approach to build that UX. It's not a one-time job. It's like a repetitive process to build that UX. And also a proper research and having the context of what we are doing and what we are building is really important. That was my reflection.
Okay, thank you, Anand. Over to you, Vignesh.
Yeah, so from today's history, so what I learned now, so we can work on our user experience and UI and everything, but how we are going to improve it from based on the feedbacks and the reviews, because as we are approaching user-centric based applications, we need to get more of a user-specific approaches and to resolve it. So from this history, I learned how we are going to tackle that and overcome it. And understanding of feedback is how important in your user experience, because so when we develop an application as a backend developer, so when going for a front end, so when we develop application, so we will try to develop what we think, but from the user experience, you can face different scenarios because everyone is not same. And as we are approaching user centric, we need to think of every perspectives, and the reviewing and feedback is more important. So that's what I learned from today's session.
Okay, thank you, Vignesh, and thank you, everyone. Next week, we'll probably have a live session of this.